Hey, what's going on, guys? Coach James here from Orange Theory Gresham, here to give you February 7th and 22nd, as it gets repeated, SPE Day. We're gonna break down the 2G and 3G formats, so let's roll in. On the treadmills, strength is our focus, so we know we have incline work to get over today. Across 3 blocks in our 3G format, we're gonna see increasing inclines and eventually decreasing inclines. That third block is actually gonna be a bit of a choice. So when we talk about uphill bases, we're really putting to challenge that challenging but doable effort for our members. Every 30 seconds, we're gonna progressively get just a little bit higher, adding 1% from flat road to that 6% incline, power walkers from that 1 to 3 closer to 9% as they make those adjustments. At the top of their hill in block 1, they have a 1 minute all out waiting for them. Now, as you progress into block number 2, they're gonna see a very similar setup, but we're gonna flip that incline. Starting at that top incline, we'll make our way down every 30 seconds, kind of supercharging that all out, if you will, at the end for another 60 seconds. Now, I mentioned earlier that block number 3 is actually gonna be a member's choice. You'll be able to forecast that if members prefer to increase again, or perhaps decrease a second time every 30 seconds, we're gonna repeat one of those 2 blocks, and that'll be up to them, which they'd like to do, of course, all ending with that 1 minute all out for their finisher. Moving to the rowers, they have 3 blocks as well, about 4 minutes apiece, and they have a pretty simple setup, work and active recovery. Starting with a 150-meter row in block number 1, they'll then move into a bodyweight exercise and simply repeat for time. They'll get a couple of quick rounds in. As they move into block number 2, you'll notice a little bit of a give and take scenario. We're gonna decrease that distance to 100-meter all out. Exercise goes up to 10 reps, and then again in block number 3, decrease in that all out. You'll see a 50-meter all out row. Good note to make, there's no countdown setting for this in that OT Connect tablet, so make sure to communicate to your members, hey, get an extra eye on how fast you can get that done. That way some match or beat opportunity does come into play as we count up instead of counting down to that shorter, unique distance. But again, that exercise volume does go up, eventually leading to their all-out row as well, lined up with the treads. Weight floor side, they have a circuit add-on, so they get to take their own pace, which is nice. There's a lot of volume to get through. 6 total exercises and 4 rounds to get it done. So the pattern is as follows: a lower exercise, an upper, and some core work. That's gonna be round 1. They'll get 3 movements, and with each round, they get 1 more exercise in that same format. Lower, eventually upper, and then that 6th movement by round 4 will be a second core exercise. If they finish all of those rounds before time, they'll simply repeat those 6 movements until the finisher, in which case they'll be able to pick one of their favorite movements to repeat as an AMRAP before moving on to their next station. Now the 2G, pretty similar setup. As far as the treads are concerned, you get 3 blocks, but they're a little longer. Block number 1, we're focusing on increasing inclines as well, but instead of every 30 seconds, they're gonna get a full minute to settle in to that base before adjusting the hill. Again, they have their all out waiting for them at the top. Block number 2 is that reverse, will come down every 60 for their all out. And then again, members will have that chance to choose in that final block which hill they would like to repeat, whether that's coming up or going down, leading to that all out finisher. The weight floor side has a little bit more explaining to do, however, than the 3G template. You're gonna see the same 6 exercises, but the block is gonna be broken up into parts instead of rounds. So keeping an eye on your template, making sure you're explaining to members exactly how we wanna execute this block. They'll start part 1 with those same 3 movements, a lower, upper, and a core exercise, and then they're gonna move to a rack and rest on the rower. Now this is where it gets a little unique. They're gonna see 2 rounds back to back of a 100-meter all-out row, again with a rack and rest. So essentially they get to set the stage on their first and then match or beat on their second. When they come back to the floor after 2 rounds on the rower, then they get to add on that exercise, right? So now 4 movements in part 2. They'll come back to the rower, another 2 rounds, 100-meter all-out, recover, do it a second time, and then you're back to the floor. Going through all 4 parts, they'll see themselves going through 6 total exercises, right? And then 8 total all-outs on that rower. If they finish before time, they'll repeat the movements only, and then the weight floor's finisher on the 2G is a 1 minute all-out row. So you wanna make sure you communicate enough time to the weight floor to make sure they get locked and loaded to the rowers so that treads and row team can get lined up together in those final 60 seconds. It's a pretty basic setup inside of the room today, a lot of easy communication. We don't want to overcomplicate things by explaining too much. We're going to be challenging members' base paces today. So that challenging but doable 20 to 30 minute pace is really going to be put to the test as we adjust speed accordingly. Incline is always going to hold priority on strength days as far as treads are concerned. And on the weight floor side, because things get repeated so often, we want those weight selections to be light to medium, and the moderate side, a lot of volume and repetitions today. And on rowers with all out and that power, it's kind of that one and done, right? You know we can get it done in 30 seconds or less. It's everything you got within those strokes and timelines. Recover as long as you need. You cannot overemphasize that enough. The body needs to regenerate a little bit so we can give a little bit more that second time through. I hope you have a good time coaching it, guys. Keep that music really loud and exciting. Jump into class if you can. We'll see ya.